Have you ever stopped to wonder how one single choice at the end of the day can shape the rest of your life? Not the big decisions you make in front of others, but the quiet ones you make alone when the lights are low and the world is silent. The truth is, your nights reveal the person you really are. The way you spend those final hours before sleep determines whether you wake up stronger, more focused, and ready to rise, or stuck in the same cycle of regret and hesitation. Every night, you either plant the seeds of tomorrow's greatness or you feed the weeds that hold you back. And most people make the mistake of letting their nights slip away, as if those hours are meaningless. But they are not meaningless, they are everything. Think about it. When the day ends, distractions finally quiet down. Nobody is asking for your attention. The world gives you a moment of stillness, a rare window to connect with yourself. But instead of using it to build their future, most people numb themselves, wasting time on empty scrolling, on late-night habits that steal their energy, on thoughts that feed self-doubt. That one choice creates a ripple effect. Go to bed with fear, with guilt, with wasted hours, and you wake up weaker, heavier, already behind. But go to bed with clarity, with purpose, with even one small act of growth, and you wake up unstoppable. This is the mistake you cannot afford to make when you spend the night letting the night use you, instead of you using it. And here is the powerful truth. Your night is not just the end of the day. It is the beginning of your tomorrow. It is the bridge between the person you were today and the person you can be tomorrow. That bridge is fragile. Cross it with intention, and it carries you to new levels of strength and clarity. Cross it carelessly, and it collapses beneath you, leaving you trapped in the same struggles you swore you would escape. Ask yourself, how many times have you promised yourself that tomorrow would be different? That tomorrow you would wake up earlier, work harder, start fresh? But when tomorrow came, you were too tired, too drained, too unprepared to keep that promise. It wasn't tomorrow that betrayed you. It was last night. Every broken promise starts the night before. Every dream that dies in the morning dies first in the evening. That is why your nights are the key. That is why if you master this one part of your life, everything else begins to fall into place. Stay with me, because if you give yourself permission to own your nights, you will unlock a power that most people never discover. You will stop living on repeat and start creating forward momentum. You will wake up not as the same version of yourself, but as someone sharper, stronger, and unstoppable. The reason you need to hear this now is simple. Every night you let slip away is a night you will never get back. But every night you claim, with purpose, becomes a step toward the life you deserve. This is not about routines that feel like chores. This is about choosing not to waste the most sacred hours you are given. If you stay with me, I will show you how to protect them, how to use them, and how to transform them into the fuel that carries you into the life you've always known you could live. The reason most people never rise to the life they dream of is not because they lack intelligence, talent, or even opportunity. It is because they lack control over their own inner space when the world gets quiet. At night, when distractions fade, your mind finally reveals what is truly inside of you. The fears you've been avoiding show up. The doubts you've buried rise to the surface. And in that silence, you have a choice. Feed those thoughts until they consume you, or redirect your focus toward the person you are becoming. This is where champions are made. Not under the spotlight, not in the crowd, but in the hidden hours where no one is watching. Psychologists call it the priming effect. The last thing you feed your mind before sleep writes the script for how you wake up and live the next day. If you go to bed filling yourself with negativity, comparison, and noise, your brain rehearses those same patterns all night long. You wake up heavy, repeating the same cycle of doubt. But if you prime your mind with clarity, gratitude, and vision, your subconscious works while you sleep, rehearsing the life you want to live, rehearsing the strength you want to embody. Imagine your nights as a rehearsal room. Every thought, every choice, every action before sleep is a rehearsal for the person you will become. The question is simple. Are you rehearsing weakness, or are you rehearsing greatness? This is why people who take command of their nights feel unstoppable. They have tapped into a power most people ignore. Instead of ending their day with regret, they end it with intention. Instead of numbing their mind, they sharpen it. Instead of carrying the weight of unfinished promises into tomorrow, they close the day with completion and wake up lighter, freer, more prepared to attack their goals. That is not luck. That is design. That is the deliberate choice to use the night as fuel rather than letting it drain them. You must understand that momentum is not created in the morning. It is created the night before. The reason you wake up hitting snooze, the reason you feel overwhelmed before the day even begins, is because you lost the battle before it even started. You handed away your most sacred hours without realizing they were the key. And yet, the power to change that is already in your hands. It does not take more talent, more money, or more resources. It takes one shift, deciding that your nights will no longer be wasted, deciding that you will protect them like the treasure they are. When you do, something incredible happens. Your nights stop being a source of regret and become a source of strength. You stop waking up as a victim of yesterday and start waking up as the architect of tomorrow. Your confidence grows because you know you kept the promise you made to yourself. Your energy rises because your body and mind are aligned. And your vision becomes clearer because you've trained your thoughts to focus on what you want, not what you fear. This is why I am telling you, if you want to change your life, do not start with your mornings. Start with your nights, because the night is where your future begins. And once you take control of it, you will discover that the life you've been chasing has been waiting for you all along. There is a reason you feel a deep pull inside whenever you think about becoming more than you are right now. That pull is not random. It is your inner compass trying to guide you toward the life you were designed to live. Yet every time you ignore it at night, every time you drown it out with noise or delay it with distraction, you weaken that compass. You start drifting without direction. You start waking up lost, feeling like days slip through your fingers with nothing to show for them. This is the real danger of wasting your nights. It is not just about lost time, it is about lost alignment with who you are meant to be. Think about what happens when you carry chaos into your sleep. Your mind cannot rest, your body cannot recover. You wake up already in deficit, fighting a battle you should not have to fight, and each time you repeat this pattern, you teach yourself that your dreams can wait, that your health can wait, that your purpose can wait, but deep down you know they cannot. Every day you delay is a day of potential you bury. Every night you waste is a step further from the life you imagine. The mistake is not just that you are tired in the morning, the mistake is that you are teaching yourself to live below your own standard. Now picture the opposite. Imagine ending your night with clarity about what matters most. Imagine silencing the noise and focusing on the one step that will move you forward tomorrow. Imagine going to bed not in chaos, but in control. Do you feel the difference? Your sleep becomes restoration, not escape. Your mornings become a continuation of progress, not a restart after failure. And slowly, without even noticing, you build a foundation of discipline so strong that nothing can shake it. That is how transformation happens, not in sudden bursts of motivation, but in the quiet, consistent choices you make when no one is watching. This is why the night matters so deeply. It is not about being perfect. It is about being intentional. You don't need to transform your entire life in one evening. You need to reclaim the hidden hours that decide how your life unfolds. The truth is, you are already rehearsing something every night. You are either rehearsing growth or rehearsing defeat. You are either training yourself to rise or training yourself to settle. And once you understand that, the path becomes clear. Refuse to end your day as a victim of distraction. Choose instead to end it as a creator of momentum. When you take back your nights, you send a powerful signal to yourself: I matter, my future matters, my dreams are not just words, they are worth my attention right now. That signal rewires how you see yourself. You stop seeing discipline as a burden and start seeing it as freedom. You stop seeing effort as punishment and start seeing it as proof that you are alive, that you are moving, that you are capable of more than you believed. And here's the promise you can hold on to. If you master your nights, you master your life, because every day begins with what you choose to carry over from yesterday. If you end today with intention, tomorrow cannot help but be stronger. That is the cycle you want to live in. That is the standard that will lift you out of mediocrity and into the life that has been waiting for you all along. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against the world outside, but against the part of you that wants comfort more than growth. At night, that part of you is loud. It whispers that you deserve to relax, that you can put off your goals until tomorrow, that it does not really matter what you do with these final hours. But deep down, you know it matters more than anything. That voice of comfort is not your ally. It is the very thing keeping you trapped where you are. Every time you give in to it, you trade long-term strength for short-term relief. You may feel a moment of ease, but what you wake up with is heavier, guilt, frustration, and the quiet knowledge that you once again betrayed your own potential. This is why discipline at night is not punishment, it is protection. It protects you from the regret that eats away at your confidence. It protects you from waking up behind before the day even begins. It protects your dreams from being slowly drained away by wasted hours. And protection is power, because when you end your night with even the smallest victory, you build a shield around your purpose. You teach yourself that your goals are sacred, that your future is worth guarding, that your standards are not negotiable. That lesson compounds. Night after night, you strengthen the identity of someone who does not break promises to themselves. What most people do not see is that identity is the true engine of change. You can force habits for a while, you can push yourself with willpower, but lasting transformation only comes when you change how you see yourself. And the fastest way to do that is through the choices you make when no one is watching. If you end your night with distraction, you reinforce the identity of someone who settles. If you end your night with intention, you reinforce the identity of someone who rises. This is not theory, this is psychology. Your brain rewires itself based on repeated actions, and the final actions of your day carry the most weight. Imagine the power of looking in the mirror each morning knowing you kept the promise you made last night. Imagine how much stronger you would feel walking into your day with proof that you are consistent, that you are focused, that you are aligned with your future. That feeling cannot be bought, it cannot be handed to you. It must be earned in the quiet hours when comfort tempts you and you choose discipline instead. And once you taste it, you will never want to go back. Because here is the truth you need to embrace: comfort never built greatness. The life you want will not be given to you. It must be built brick by brick, choice by choice, night by night. Every time you resist the pull of distraction and choose purpose instead, you are laying a brick. It may feel small in the moment, but over time it builds a wall so strong that nothing can knock it down. That wall is your discipline. That wall is your identity. And it all begins when you decide that your nights will no longer be wasted, that they will be sacred ground where your future is forged. Every choice you make before you close your eyes is a declaration of what you believe you deserve. If you give those hours away to distraction, you are silently declaring that your future can wait. If you choose to pour them into growth, clarity, and preparation, you are declaring that your future is non-negotiable. That declaration shapes how you feel about yourself, and it shapes how the world responds to you. People who treat their nights with intention radiate a different energy. They walk with certainty. They speak with conviction. They carry themselves as if they know where they are going, because they do. Your subconscious mind does not argue with your actions. It simply accepts them as evidence. Every time you surrender your night, your subconscious accepts the evidence that you are someone who does not follow through. But every time you protect those hours, your subconscious accepts the evidence that you are someone who honors your word. That is how belief is built, not through empty affirmations, but through undeniable proof. And belief is the foundation of every breakthrough. Once you believe you are the kind of person who rises above distraction, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop doubting whether you can. You simply do. This is why your nights carry so much weight. They are the courtroom where your identity is decided. Each action is either evidence of your weakness or evidence of your strength. And the verdict you hand down each night determines how you show up tomorrow. When you grasp this truth, you will never look at your evenings the same way again. You will realize they are not throwaway hours. They are the proving ground of your destiny. Think about how different your life feels when you start stacking wins before the day even begins. When you choose to end your night with clarity instead of chaos, you wake up with momentum already in motion. You are not starting at zero. You are carrying energy forward. That is why successful people often seem unstoppable, because they understand that momentum is not found, it is built. And it is built in the decisions no one sees. If you want confidence, it does not come from hoping. It comes from repetition. It comes from showing yourself over and over again that you can be trusted with your own future. And trust is earned in the quiet choices of the night. When you close your eyes after a day where you honored your commitments, your sleep feels different. It is not restless. It is not filled with regret. It is peaceful because you know you lived with alignment. That peace becomes power. That peace allows you to wake with energy instead of exhaustion. And all of this begins with a single commitment: to stop treating your nights as background noise. They are not filler. They are not disposable. They are sacred hours, the foundation stones of the life you say you want. If you are willing to defend them, you will discover a strength in yourself you may not have believed was possible. A strength that grows night after night, until one day you realize you no longer chase transformation, you embody it. There is a quiet truth that separates those who grow from those who remain the same. The strongest people do not wait for the perfect conditions to show up. They create conditions by mastering the spaces others overlook. And nothing is overlooked more often than the night. Most people think change requires massive leaps during the day, but the real transformation begins when the world goes silent and you are left alone with yourself. That is where you either choose to drift or to design. Your brain craves closure. It craves direction. When you leave your day unresolved, when you leave your goals vague, your mind carries that weight into sleep. You toss, you turn, you wake up already behind. But when you give your brain a target before you close your eyes, it works for you instead of against you. Studies prove that the subconscious continues solving problems, continues rehearsing patterns, continues aligning itself with the last thought you fed it. That is why your final choice before sleep is not small. It is the most powerful command you give your future self. And here's where most people fail. They underestimate the cost of chaos. They think a little distraction, a little wasted time is harmless. But it is not harmless. It is a pattern. It is training. It is conditioning yourself to accept less than what you are capable of. That conditioning seeps into everything. It makes you hesitate when you should act. It makes you doubt when you should trust yourself. It makes you settle when you should rise. This is not about a single night. It is about the identity you build night after night. If you have ever wondered why you start strong but lose momentum, why your motivation fades so quickly, the answer is here. You cannot build lasting fire on a foundation of weeknights. The energy is unstable, the belief is fragile, and the progress collapses under the weight of inconsistency. But when you end each night with intention, even in the smallest ways, you create stability. You create an anchor that keeps you grounded when challenges come. And with that anchor, you do not lose momentum, you multiply it. Imagine how powerful it feels to wake up not searching for motivation, but carrying it with you. Imagine starting each day already aligned, already clear, already strong because you designed it the night before. That feeling is not reserved for a select few. It is available to anyone who is willing to make their nights count. You, right now. You can choose to stop drifting. You can choose to step into design. The mistake is waiting for a better time, waiting for more energy, waiting for circumstances to align. Waiting is how people lose their lives without even noticing. What you do tonight is not about tonight. It is about reclaiming your time, your belief, and your destiny. The night is not an ending. It is the birthplace of the next version of you. And if you choose to use it, you will no longer wake up behind. You will wake up ahead every single day. Every human being carries within them an untapped reservoir of strength, but most never touch it because they never create the space for it to rise. The night is that space. It is the doorway to depth, the opening where distraction can be silenced and truth can finally be heard. Yet the reason so many feel stuck is because they close that doorway before they ever step through it. They trade silence for noise, reflection for avoidance, intention for impulse. And with that trade, they rob themselves of the very clarity that could transform their lives. When you allow yourself to end the night with purpose, something extraordinary happens inside of you. You no longer drift through days waiting for energy or direction to magically appear. You start generating them. You begin to feel what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief that your actions create results. That belief is powerful. It is the foundation of courage. It is the source of resilience. And it begins not with grand gestures, but with simple choices repeated consistently, especially when it is hardest. The truth is, the hardest battles you face will never be against external obstacles. They will always be against the quiet temptations that come in the hidden hours. The temptation to delay, the temptation to numb yourself, the temptation to surrender tonight and promise yourself you will try again tomorrow. But every time you defeat those temptations, you strengthen the muscle of discipline. And like any muscle, the more you work it, the stronger it becomes. Soon the temptation loses its power. Soon the urge to drift is replaced by the urge to rise. This is how transformation sneaks up on you. Not in sudden lightning strikes, but in the slow, steady shaping of your character. Every intentional night is another stroke carving the identity of someone who cannot be broken. Every purposeful choice becomes another thread in the fabric of confidence that will wrap around you when life tests you. And life will test you. But if your foundation is strong, you will not fold. Think about what that means for your future. If you choose to master your nights, you will never again wake up with the weight of regret. You will not waste hours trying to find momentum because you will already have it. You will not feel like life is happening to you because you will know you are building it piece by piece. That kind of alignment changes everything. How you work, how you love, how you carry yourself through the world. People will notice. They will feel the energy in you. They will wonder what your secret is. And the secret will be simple. You stopped wasting the hours that everyone else overlooks. There will always be reasons to give in, always excuses that seem valid. But excuses are just comfort dressed in disguise. They offer nothing but the illusion of safety, while stealing the progress that could have been yours. And once you see that clearly, you can no longer tolerate them. You will no longer accept nights lost to distraction, because you will know each one carries the weight of your entire future. The night is your mirror. It reflects whether you are living aligned with your potential or hiding from it. And when you choose to face that reflection with courage, when you choose to act with intention even in the smallest ways, you begin to step into the unstoppable version of yourself that has always been waiting. The way you spend your night is a silent contract with yourself. It is either a contract of compromise or a contract of commitment. Compromise tells you it is fine to drift, to waste, to hope that somehow tomorrow will carry more strength than today. But commitment tells you that your time is sacred, that your dreams deserve more than leftovers, that even in the quiet hours you will stand for the life you want. That contract is invisible, but its consequences are not. You feel them the moment you open your eyes. You feel them in your energy, your focus, your belief. And over weeks, months, years, that contract becomes your reality. The mistake most people make is thinking that the little choices do not matter. They assume that an hour lost to distraction is harmless, that letting their night slip away will not affect who they become. But life is built in layers, and every layer matters. 1 hour does not just vanish, it stacks, it compounds. It becomes evidence your mind uses to define who you are. The weight of small compromises is exactly what crushes potential. The strength of small commitments is exactly what builds greatness. When you choose to protect your night, you are not just winning that moment, you are teaching yourself that you can be trusted, and trust in yourself is everything. Without it, every goal feels impossible, because deep down you do not believe you will follow through. But with it, every goal feels inevitable, because you know you will keep walking until it is done. That trust is built in private, long before the results are visible. It is built when you silence the noise, when you resist the pull of comfort, when you tell yourself through action that your dreams matter enough to fight for. Your life right now is the sum of countless small decisions, and your future will be shaped the same way. This truth is not meant to discourage you, it is meant to empower you. Because if small decisions created the place you are in, small decisions can also create the place you long to be. It means you do not need to wait for some grand breakthrough to change. You only need to claim the hours you have been wasting and infuse them with purpose. That is how you shift the trajectory of your life, not by waiting, not by wishing, but by choosing differently tonight. Every time you take control of your night, you weaken the grip of your old patterns. Every time you end with clarity instead of chaos, you chip away at the identity that held you back. And little by little, you replace it with the identity of someone who rises, someone who builds, someone who refuses to drift. This is the essence of transformation, not perfection, but direction. Not intensity once in a while, but consistency every night. Do not underestimate what this choice means. It is not just about sleeping earlier or planning your next day. It is about reclaiming ownership of your life. It is about refusing to be passive with the time that defines everything. It is about declaring that your nights are no longer a mistake, but a weapon, a tool, a sacred ground where you shape the unstoppable version of yourself. There is a reason your spirit feels restless when you waste the end of your day. Deep down, you know the night is meant for more than escape. It is meant to realign you. It is meant to remind you of who you are and who you are becoming. That restlessness is not weakness, it is a signal. It is your higher self calling you to rise above the cycle of distraction, to break free from the patterns that steal your energy and dim your vision. Ignoring that call may bring temporary comfort, but it always leaves you with emptiness. Answering it, however, fills you with strength you cannot find anywhere else. When you end your night with purpose, you begin to shift the emotional chemistry of your life. Your brain is not just a machine that shuts off when you sleep, it is constantly wiring itself based on your choices. Neuroscience proves that repetition strengthens pathways. The final thoughts you feed yourself before bed are the pathways your brain strengthens the most. If you close your night with negativity, worry, or distraction, you are literally training your mind to replay weakness. But if you close it with clarity, gratitude, and vision, you are programming your brain to rehearse strength. You are sculpting the mental architecture of success while you sleep. That is why discipline at night is so powerful. It is not just about control. It is about transformation at the deepest level. It is about aligning your inner world with the life you want to live. Every time you protect your night, you reinforce a message to yourself: I am in charge of my destiny. I am not a victim of circumstance. I am not at the mercy of my impulses. I choose who I am becoming. That message, repeated consistently, rewires your identity. And once your identity shifts, your actions follow naturally. This is the difference between people who rise and people who remain the same. The ones who rise have learned that their nights are not casual. They are sacred. They do not end the day in chaos because they know chaos multiplies. They end it with order, with focus, with intention, because they know that is what multiplies. That is why they move with clarity while others move with confusion. That is why they build momentum while others stay stuck. It is not about luck. It is not about talent. It is about ownership of the hours that everyone else ignores. And this truth should ignite something inside of you, because it means your life can change faster than you think. You do not need to wait for a new year, or a new opportunity, or a new beginning. You already have a new beginning every single night. Each night is an invitation to realign, to reset, to recommit to the life you want. Most people waste that invitation, but you do not have to. You can choose to step into it fully, to let your nights become the foundation of a new identity. The most dangerous mistake you could make is believing that tonight doesn't matter. It does. It always does. The night is the seedbed of your tomorrow, and whatever you plant in it will grow. Plant distraction and you harvest regret. Plant intention and you harvest greatness. The choice is yours, and the time is now. The truth you must face is that every night is a test of alignment between the person you are and the person you want to become. If you end your day in distraction, you are choosing to live as the version of yourself that avoids responsibility. If you end your day with intention, you are choosing to live as the version that creates destiny. That decision, repeated night after night, is the difference between a life of quiet regret and a life of undeniable purpose. And the most dangerous part is how subtle it feels. You do not ruin your future in one moment. You lose it in the tiny compromises you tell yourself don't matter. But they do matter. Every thought, every action, every choice is either moving you closer to power or deeper into weakness. And at night, when the noise fades, those choices echo louder. You cannot hide from them because you carry them into your sleep and into your mornings. This is why people feel drained even after 8 hours of rest. It is not their body that is tired. It is their spirit weighed down by unresolved choices. Rest cannot restore you if you end your day in chaos. Only alignment can do that. So imagine what happens when you reverse the pattern. Imagine ending your day not with guilt, but with gratitude. Not with confusion, but with clarity. Not with distraction, but with direction. You fall asleep lighter. You wake up sharper. Your mornings no longer feel like battles. They feel like momentum already in motion. And that momentum compounds, lifting you higher each day until the gap between who you were and who you are becoming is undeniable. Psychology calls this the compounding effect of micro decisions. Small wins, stacked consistently, change the way your brain sees itself. Each intentional night becomes proof that you are disciplined, proof that you are committed, proof that you are stronger than the voice of comfort. And your brain does not forget proof. It locks it in. It builds belief upon it. And once belief is strong enough, action becomes automatic. You no longer fight with yourself to stay on track. You simply do because it is who you are now. That is why protecting your nights is not optional. It is essential. It is the training ground for identity, the forge where belief is shaped, the arena where discipline is tested. If you win here, you can win anywhere. But if you lose here, you wake up weakened, and the cycle repeats. The choice is brutal in its simplicity, rise or remain, and you know deep inside that remaining is no longer an option. You have been called to more. That pull you feel is not an illusion, it is your soul demanding that you stop wasting what could be the most powerful hours of your life. Tonight is not just another night, it is a crossroads. One path leads to repetition, the other leads to transformation, and all it takes to step onto the second path is one decision: to refuse the mistake that has held you back for so long and to claim the night as yours. You already know what it feels like to wake up heavy, to drag yourself through the morning carrying the weight of another wasted night. That weight is not just physical tiredness. It is the silent disappointment of knowing you betrayed yourself again. It is the loss of trust that eats away at your confidence. And the longer you carry that weight, the more you start to believe the lie that you are not capable of more. But that belief is false. You are not weak. You are simply untrained in protecting the hours that matter most. And the moment you learn to guard your nights, you will realize how much strength has been waiting inside of you all along. Your nights are not about restriction. They are about liberation. When you choose purpose over distraction, you are not losing freedom. You are gaining it. You are freeing yourself from the cycle of regret, from the constant battle of starting over, from the exhaustion of living below your own standards. Real freedom is not found in giving in to every impulse. Real freedom is found in the discipline that allows you to wake up proud of who you are becoming. That pride is rare. That pride is powerful. It is the kind of pride that builds a life of momentum instead of a life of excuses. And here's the secret most people never learn. Once you build momentum at night, it becomes nearly impossible to lose it during the day, because you start every morning with proof that you honored yourself, proof that you kept the contract, proof that you are capable of rising above the noise. That proof is priceless. It eliminates hesitation. It silences doubt. It transforms effort from something you force into something you crave, because nothing feels better than alignment. When your actions match your vision, when your choices match your values, when your nights match the future you want. But to experience that alignment, you must stop giving your nights away as if they are disposable. They are not disposable. They are sacred. They are the foundation of everything. Each night is either strengthening you or weakening you. Each night is either pulling you closer to your future or pushing you further from it. And if you are honest with yourself, you already know which direction your nights have been taking you. That honesty is not meant to shame you. It is meant to awaken you. Because the truth is, you have the power to change it right now. The most powerful part of this truth is that transformation does not require perfection. It requires presence. It requires choosing again and again to end your night with intention. Even one small act, a moment of clarity, a step of preparation, a decision to shut out the noise, creates a shift. That shift builds. That shift compounds. And soon, it reshapes the way you see yourself. You stop being the person who drifts. You become the person who directs. And when that identity takes root, everything changes. You stop waking up behind and start waking up ahead. You stop wishing for a new life and start living one. And it all begins with the choice you make when the world is silent, when comfort calls, when only you will ever know the decision you made. That is where greatness begins. That is where your future is decided. Greatness is not built in the spotlight. It is built in the shadows, in the hours no one celebrates, in the moments no one applauds. The night is where that building happens. The world may see your results, but they will never see the hidden choices that created them. They will not see the quiet moments where you refused distraction, where you chose purpose, where you built discipline brick by brick. And that is what makes the night so powerful. It is where you forge your future without the need for validation, without the noise of the crowd, without the pressure of performance. It is just you and the truth of who you are willing to become. Every night you are confronted with two versions of yourself. One seeks comfort, the easy way, the illusion of rest that never truly satisfies. The other seeks growth, the harder path, the decision that feels heavier in the moment but lighter in the morning. The first version is short-sighted, chasing what feels good right now. The second version is visionary, choosing what will feel extraordinary tomorrow. Whichever version you feed becomes stronger, and whichever version you starve becomes weaker. That is how identity is shaped, not by what you say you want, but by who you choose to be when it is hardest. This is why the night is not a small thing. It is not just about sleep or routine. It is about reinforcing the identity you want to live with. Every act of intention at night is a message to your future self. I am ready. I am disciplined. I am serious about the life I am creating. And that message echoes forward, carrying into your mornings, into your actions, into the way you respond to challenges. You do not need to speak it aloud. You prove it by what you do in silence. When you consistently align your nights with your vision, something shifts in the way you carry yourself. You no longer walk into your day reactive, scrambling to catch up. You walk into your day proactive, grounded, already ahead. That shift creates confidence. And confidence is not arrogance, it is certainty. It is the quiet, unshakable knowing that you can handle whatever comes because you have already proven to yourself that you are consistent when it matters most. And here is the beauty of it. You do not need to win the entire night at once. You just need to start. One intentional act is enough to tip the balance. One step of discipline is enough to plant the seed. Because once you feel the difference it makes, once you experience the strength of waking up aligned instead of behind, you will crave it. And craving alignment is the beginning of mastery. The world does not reward intentions, it rewards outcomes. But outcomes are always born from hidden choices. So when you protect your nights, you are not just protecting hours, you're protecting outcomes, you're protecting the vision of who you know you can be. And when that vision becomes more important than the comfort of the moment, you become unstoppable. Because no distraction can compete with someone who has already chosen alignment over compromise. The moment you begin to understand that your nights are sacred is the moment everything else in your life begins to shift. Because the truth is, most people live trapped in a cycle they don't even recognize. They chase energy in the day because they wasted it at night. They chase clarity because they lost it in distraction. They chase peace because they traded it for temporary escapes. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to be at the mercy of cycles that drain you. You can step outside of them. You can create new cycles, cycles of growth, of discipline, of deep inner power. And it all begins with the choice you make when the world grows quiet. Think about how much energy is stolen when you surrender your nights to habits that don't serve you. It isn't just the loss of time, it's the loss of momentum, the loss of belief, the loss of trust in yourself. And belief is everything. When you stop believing in your own consistency, you stop taking bold action. When you stop trusting your own discipline, you stop dreaming at the level you were meant to. Without belief, you shrink. With belief, you expand. That is why the smallest decision you make at night is not small at all. It has the power to either weaken or strengthen the very belief that drives your future. This is why you must see your nights as an investment, not a leftover. The minutes you spend with intention create hours of power the next day. The minutes you waste create hours of regret, and regret is heavy. Regret drains more energy than work ever will. Regret steals not just your time, but your joy. It whispers lies that you are incapable, that you are falling behind, that maybe you are not meant for more. But you cannot afford to listen to that voice. You cannot afford to let regret be the story you wake up to. You deserve to wake up with pride, with clarity, with fire in your chest. And the way to earn that feeling is through the discipline you choose when the temptation to drift is strongest. Every great life is built on this invisible work. Not the achievements, not the applause, not the recognition. Those are outcomes. The foundation is the quiet contract you keep with yourself when nobody is watching. And the strength of that foundation will determine how far you rise. If your nights are weak, your mornings will crumble. But if your nights are strong, your mornings will ignite. That ignition sets the tone for everything. Your focus, your decisions, your confidence, your courage. It is the difference between living on offense or defense, between creating life or reacting to it. So ask yourself, what story are you writing in the silence of your nights? Are you reinforcing weakness or are you strengthening your future? Are you choosing alignment or are you choosing escape? You cannot answer with words. You can only answer with action. And the good news is that every single night, you are given a new chance to answer again. That chance is yours right now. That chance is power. That chance is freedom. And if you seize it, your nights will no longer be wasted. They will become the furnace where your future is forged. The way you end your day decides how you begin your life tomorrow. And that truth is more profound than it first appears. Because every tomorrow is not just another day. It is another opportunity to either confirm the person you want to become or to drift further into the person you no longer want to be. Each night becomes a fork in the road. Each night is a test of whether you will lean into your potential or lean away from it. And what you choose in those hours of silence will echo louder than you imagine. The reason is simple. Human beings are creatures of rhythm. Your body, your mind, your spirit, they all thrive on patterns. And every time you give your night to discipline, you strengthen a rhythm that fuels growth. Every time you give your night to distraction, you strengthen a rhythm that fuels decay. Those rhythms run deeper than willpower. They become automatic. They guide you even when you are not aware of them, and that is why you must take control before they take control of you. Consider how powerful it feels when you create a rhythm that serves you. Instead of fighting yourself each morning, you flow. Instead of begging for motivation, you wake up aligned. Instead of doubting your ability, you feel certainty rise naturally within you. That certainty doesn't come from luck. It doesn't come from talent. It comes from the quiet victories no one sees. It comes from the decision to honor the night as a sacred space where your future is rehearsed. And when you do this consistently, your days stop feeling scattered and start feeling like they are unfolding exactly as they were meant to. But there is a trap, and it is subtle. It is the lie that says one more night doesn't matter. That one more hour wasted will not harm you, that tomorrow you can always begin again. And while that is partly true, there is a hidden cost. Each delay trains your identity. Each delay tells your mind that postponing your potential is acceptable. And the mind listens. It adapts. It settles into patterns that make drifting normal and discipline foreign. That is why small compromises accumulate into heavy regret. That is why lives drift not in one catastrophic decision, but in countless unnoticed choices. The opposite is also true. One night of strength plants a seed. One night of alignment reminds your mind that you are not powerless. You are in command, and the mind listens. It adapts. It begins to crave the consistency, the clarity, the peace that comes from choosing power over escape. Soon what felt difficult becomes natural. What felt forced becomes effortless. And what once seemed impossible becomes your new baseline. This is how transformation actually happens. Not through bursts of motivation, but through the steady shaping of identity in the quietest moments of your life. So tonight, when the noise fades, when the world grows still, remember this. You are not just ending a day, you are beginning your future. The way you choose to treat these hours will either set you free or hold you back. And if you claim them with strength, discipline, and intention, you will wake not only with more energy, but with a deeper belief in who you are becoming. That belief is your real power. That belief is the foundation of everything. And it is forged in the silence of the night. There's something extraordinary that happens when you begin to value your nights as much as your days. The moment you realize the hours before sleep are not disposable but sacred, your relationship with time itself changes. You stop treating your evenings as a place to escape and start treating them as a place to invest. You begin to see that every night holds a mirror up to you. It asks one simple but life-defining question. Are you living with intention? Or are you drifting into tomorrow unprepared? That answer doesn't just affect how you sleep. It affects how you wake, how you move, how you fight, how you rise. Most people are exhausted not because they work too hard, but because they live with too little alignment. They scatter their attention, feed their mind with noise, and then wonder why their spirit feels heavy. But the truth is that peace, clarity, and strength are built choices at a time. They are the reward of refusing to waste the last hours of your day. Every time you put your phone down, every time you reflect on your goals, every time you prepare your mind for rest instead of chaos, you are telling yourself a story. And that story is powerful. It says, I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am the author of them. The mind responds to rituals. Neuroscience shows us that repetition rewires pathways and that consistency beats intensity, which means the small actions you take each night matter far more than the bursts of motivation you wait for. This is why so many people fail to sustain change. They chase intensity instead of rhythm. But the ones who truly rise above are the ones who master the simple, repeatable disciplines of the night. The ones who understand that it is not the mountain you climb in a day that changes you, but the steps you repeat over and over until the climb feels natural. When you treat your night as training ground, You wake up armed with more than energy. You wake up armed with clarity. And clarity is the true fuel of action. Without it, even the strongest desire fades. With it, even the hardest challenge feels possible. Clarity gives direction to your strength and meaning to your effort. And clarity is born in the silence of your evenings when you strip away distraction and face yourself. Imagine the difference between two versions of you. One who spends the last hours of the day drifting, numbing, escaping, and one who spends those same hours aligning, preparing, and breathing life into the vision of tomorrow. One wakes up heavy, unsure, reactive. The other wakes up clear, ready, proactive. These are not two different people. They are two different choices. And the choice is yours every single night. So stop treating your evenings like they do not matter. Stop giving away the most powerful hours of your life to habits that weaken you. Each night, you are building a future. You are either building a future of power or a future of regret. And when you remember this, when you choose alignment over escape, you will unlock something few people ever experience. A life that feels intentional. A life that feels whole. A life that day after day, night after night, becomes proof that you were always capable of more than you believed.